Hi everybody and welcome to Matchday Live ahead of City's third pre-season friendly, third game of the Enzo Maresca era. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome back. This is my first game of the new season. It has come round fast, hasn't it? But I'm very, very excited for the season ahead and excited for the show today. Joined in the studio by Nedum and by Izzy Christiansen. Hi guys.
Good to see you. We go again.
Good morning.
Can't believe we go again already.
We go again.
This is my first game back for the start of the new season as well.
Yeah, same for me, yeah.
Oh,
But somebody's been working tirelessly during the summer at the World Cup.
No, we don't have to call
And
it
I've
that.
I've been on a beach, so...
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
I am jealous.
So hopefully I'm fresh, but I'm back in Nedum to bring the energy this morning.
Oh, good luck with that.
It's nice that it's all of our first games, though. Like it feels like a real welcome back, everybody.
We go again. We are so back. We are so back.
Was the summer good for you then?
I watched a lot of football. I talked about a lot of football. I'm glad that a lot of football's over now. Had a little break, but again, this is it. This is it. The third game of the Maresca era. Let's go.
Did you have any time, any period of days or weeks where you didn't watch or talk about football?
Are you talking about paid talking about football or just casually? I think it's probably from when the tournament started to when it ended, I think there was like 8 days where I didn't talk about it. That was it. But that's fine. It's my job. It's fine. Fine.
But you've had a lovely switch off from football.
Yeah, I've had a switch off from football and then been back in 6 weeks now with the next gen squad, the 21s at Man City Women. So that's been a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. We've had some terrific tests over the last few weeks. We played Burnley, WSL 2 side, recently promoted. So that was a huge test for us last week. Only lost 2-0, but analysing the game, we were the better team. So very pleased with it. And yeah, some of my players actually got an experience last night in Fiorentina with the first team in the 1-1 draw, which I watched last night on City TV.
Same.
Yeah, it was good. Their first game, so early days, but they're looking good already.
We are going to talk about that game a little bit later on, talk about some of the new signings as well that women's team have made. Obviously, big congratulations to Sasha Lewis as well for getting her first professional contract. We'll get you both of your thoughts on that coming up as well. But oh my goodness, as we've said, it is the third pre-season friendly already. You can watch the full game today, of course, against Atletico Madrid on City Plus. If you're not already subscribed to City Plus, get that sorted right now so that you don't miss 1 second of the game. So that starts at 12 o'clock UK time, so you've got about an hour and 20 minutes of us, and then hopefully we'll be over in Seoul as well, pitch side with the lads before the game. So get that sorted for yourselves right now. So guys, I want to get onto the game. I want to sort of get onto the game, but in terms of for the both of you, I wondered when you're talking about pre-season friendlies, when you're sitting and it's pre-season and you're seeing all the news coming through as former pros. Where are you? Are you missing football? Are you thinking you want to be back out there? Or are you happy to be sat here?
Well, there's different stages of pre-season. There's like the torturous bit at the start, which I'm really not into, where, people working on fitness and all that type of stuff. But I think as time passed, the fitness was like with the ball. But I'm from the generation where you wouldn't even see a ball and you wouldn't need your boots for the first week, 10 days. Just running. Just different sort of versions of hell over and over and over. But then it was also always nice to go back to a training ground and see your peers again, to see the staff and to almost talk about what the season's going to be like, what that hope's going to be. Because to be fair, no one, in my opinion, I don't know if you'd agree, but nobody starts the season with that sense of dread. There's always a sense of excitement, whether it's individual or collective. This will be our year. This will be my year. Obviously, a little bit after, you tend to realise that it's not always going to be your year. But I don't miss it. I don't miss the running. I like watching them play football and so on. But in some ways, I like to look back on my career and sort of celebrate the moments that I had. And I always remember as well, because the Football League kind of started this weekend with the Carabao Cup. The first and last game of every season, red hot, mouth dry, toughest conditions ever. I was like, yeah, I remember my this, I remember my that. Don't miss it. Had my time. Very much enjoying life at the moment.
Okay. No hell running needed.
No.
The game's moved on now.
Yeah.
You see the ball.
It's moved on for you.
You see the ball. The first day you're back in, you see the ball now. And that's how it should be. And there's also a responsibility on players to be professional. If you cut corners, then you're going to start your first couple of weeks of pre-season on the back foot anyway. And when you got a new gaffer in, you want to impress early on. So
yeah.
And also the fact when you pre-season tours the bit I loved. going away, going and training in the heat. And I say that because it's been absolutely scorching back here in Manchester as well. So maybe argue, do you need a pre-season tour for the heat? A lot of teams go out to Spain, these little places. But no, I think those conditions in the heat, you build up your fitness even more. You gel as a team, you enjoy it, you have an ice cream together after training. I just think those are moments are invaluable to build a culture within a team.
I imagine you're both still as fit, by the way, as you were when you were playing. I know that you. I see you paddle.
Paddle. Get around a paddle court, all right.
Well, thank you. So we are now about an hour and 15 minutes away from today's pre-season friendly against Atletico Madrid. Let's take a look at the City's starting 11 for today. And this is the first time that we are all seeing this as well. So you can see there, of course, Gigi Donnarumma in goal. And then it is Nunes, Haish, Diaz, who is captain, Josko Vardiol, Reinders, Kovacic, Savinho, Foden, Semenyo, and Marmoush. And then you can see the subs there. Nice full bench of subs, a lot of young players on there as well. Nedum, when I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much your first team. That's pretty much an 11 that we might see in the Premier League.
Yeah, it certainly could be. And I think that's the strength of City's squad overall, because there's still players there, the likes of Haaland, who haven't even essentially made it into a first-team squad yet. But yeah, that's a strong side. And there's some other players on the bench as well who we've seen play in the first team as well as some of the youngsters. So yeah, it should be good. And in some ways, it's so mixed when, for example, there's a tournament in the summer, because some teams get knocked out earlier than others. So all these pre-seasons are almost like on staggered times, and the ones who've stayed for longest, because they tend to stay the longest anyway. Rodri tends to not really be available most of the pre-season games. But yeah, that's a good side. And, they've got a big game next week. The season starts essentially with the Community Shield, so it's good to see that they're getting more minutes in the legs.
Izzy, what stands out for you from that starting 11?
The strength of it initially. I think the players, Gvardiol, I think it's going to be a big year for him. Leadership alongside Diaz at the back. His versatility is a big debate. Where's Gvardiol's best position? Is it left centre-back? Is it left-back? Really excited to see what Maresca's going to do at the back. And obviously Nunes, again, getting the nod in the back, coming into midfield, creating that kind of double pivot with Kovacic. I think it's just exciting to see, the players and the strengths. I think Rico Lewis on the bench as well. It'd be good to see him feature this afternoon. But yeah, players, that want to. There's no pressure on them, but they also want to make a statement in front of the new manager. You want to continue, and like Nedum said, big game next weekend against Arsenal in the Community Shield. You want to be on their team sheet for that.
I would say as well, like pre-season. I don't know if it was the same for you, but you start the pre-season, everyone's like just sharing out minutes and so on and so forth. Then at some point, the manager kind of plays his hand about what the team's going to be.
Okay.
And you kind of want to make sure you're on the right side of that. So getting the chance to play now, like a lot of the guys playing today will have a very good chance of being the ones that start the game next week. So even though you say it's just a pre-season game and so on, I think a manager starts to show you at around this time, like what people can expect for the first few weeks of the season.
A little bit, post-match, we're going to spend a good chunk talking about Arsenal and the Community Shield game next week. But given the fact that what we've already mentioned, that so many of the players are still not with the squad because of how they progressed in the World Cup, will we get that this season? Will he play his hand before the Premier League starts?
It's a really, really good question, that. I don't know the state in terms of whether the players are in training or not, and I don't know how long they'd want them to have for a pre-season, essentially. Because, yes, they will be carrying some fitness, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they can just arrive, start training, and then play in big games straight away. So they kind of need to feel their way, and I thought Guardiola was brilliant at that across the years as well, because you wouldn't necessarily say, it's almost, he understood the value of players being available at the start and being at their best towards the end. So I'm sure Maresca's got some sort of thought about that, but it's really tough to read. And the Community Shield, it's obviously a great competition, but when some of the sides are involved, when they play in Europe, play things like the Club World Cup last year or whenever it was, it can get really, really tough in terms of figuring out what team's going to be like and sort of giving your best in that moment. But you never know. And I think it was 3 years ago, I remember seeing one of the Manchester Derby ones, and in midfield, there was James McAtee and Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And Nico was like, this kid looks like he might be all right. I think he turned out to be all right.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's done
right.
okay. To be fair, same with James, but Nico from a City standpoint, he's been all right. So opportunity comes sometimes when other people aren't available.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favourite things about pre-season is those opportunities. And oh, hello there! Look at that! Hey, Braden. Hey, Amos. Magically appearing. How are you both?
All good.
Hello. Have you guys taken any break from football? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Oh, okay.
I've been enjoying the World Cup.
Okay, a little bit there. Amos has had a break. Braden, too addicted.
Of course. I've been enjoying the football over the break. It's been good for me. I've just been watching the World Cup and then straight back to City.
Well, it's lovely to see you both again. Amos, come to you first. What do you make of that 11?
Yeah, fun. I think it's the third pre-season game in a row where we've maybe been a little bit surprised as to how strong it is, because as Nedum mentions there, usually in pre-season you are treated to some of the youngsters in the squad, but no, Maresca's gone straight in there. Obviously a reduced squad to work with because of the World Cup and players getting to the latter stages, but where possible he's played a pretty strong hand, and this is another example.
Braden, for you, is there anyone that you are particularly interested in seeing under Enzo Maresca?
Oh, that's a great question. I was going to go today. I was looking forward to seeing Marmoush because obviously we've seen Mabama play and he's been playing so well. Under Maresca in general, I wonder sometimes, because we don't know what's going on with Rodri, if Nico Gonzalez has a bigger role and a more important role to play this year, especially when they were talking about playing two almost next to each other defensive midfielders. And with Anderson coming in, I wonder if Gonzalez has got a big role to fill this year. And then Nunes, the wingers as well. We talk about the wingers, the wing play. I think Nunes, obviously, as you say, you mentioned before, coming inside midfield. We might see a bit more of that today. But then the wingers too. We spoke about Semenyo previously. Doku, when he comes back, he's got to be unbelievable. But yeah, it's just a new season, new changes, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we do. I mean, the season properly starts next week, which feels like it's come round so fast.
Oh, yeah, it really does. I'm so excited about that being in Cardiff, by the way. If you didn't know, the Community Shield is going to be taking place in Cardiff, and I can't wait. I've never watched it. I've never been to an actual game there. Cannot wait for that. Wingers conversation is really interesting, Braden. Izzy, we've seen so far in the 2 pre-season games, 4 goals, all coming from the wings. What does that tell you?
It's always been a big feature of the way that City play, wingers, whether they've been going down the outside or coming inside, depending on, the system that the managers have been playing, their strengths as an individual. But, I mean, you just alluded to Doku there, Braden. Like, I'd completely forgotten about Doku coming back in because my head was in Haaland coming back, Rodri coming back, Elliot Anderson coming back in, and then wow. So the options, but Doku has set the precedent for me. He set the level last season of wing play at City. And I think you look back over the wingers over the years, and even Navas, I used to love watching him play because of his work rate and his ability to just get the ball in the box. So it's always a big feature of the play. Semenyo's had 6 months, to embed himself into the City system. He likes to come inside a lot. And I just think having that variation constantly provides problems for full-backs, for back fours, back threes, however the opposition play. So big feature of the way that City play, and how Maresca uses all 4, 5, 6 of his wingers this season is going to be very interesting to see.
Nedum, I'm so excited to see a full season of Anton Semenyo at City, because we saw what he managed to do coming in January and hitting the ground running. What's the ceiling level for him? Is there one for him this year?
That's a great question. He's coming off the best season he's ever had, starting the year with Bournemouth and then finishing it with City, winning the FA Cup final, that type of stuff, and then going to play in the World Cup as well. He's obviously having a great time, and I think he's sort of, with the players around him and the coaching and the infrastructure and the belief and the desire, I think you see year in, year out, players start to get better and better and better and find a different sort of level. And yes, the coaching and stuff will be different, but the ambitions are still exactly the same. So I think he can continue to improve, understand his teammates more, because as you're right, it's very tricky to come in like January, because you're almost trying to settle within a city and also settling within a team. Going into this next season, this is now his city, this is now his team. He sees it differently. It's not his first Champions League game. It's not his first title chase. It's not his first final. He's like, this is the norm now. And I think from there, you can see the best version of him. So I'm excited. And, Izzy as well mentioned some players. I forgot about, Shirky. I forgot he was still at City.
Days.
I was thinking, who else is coming back? Oh, there's Nico.
No,
but I was like, who's missing? Oh, yeah, there's Rodri, there's Gahey, there's Nico, there's Doku, there's Shirky. I was like, oh, that is a lovely squad, that. That is a lovely squad.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Very strong.
I can't wait to see that squad all back together, definitely. I don't know if you two heard that there. I did. I'm not letting you get away with it. Whose phone rung there?
It was my mum telling me that I've got to come on here. I've said it to the wrong time.
No, you didn't, Amos, did you?
Yeah,
Amos's alarm went off and tell him to come on when he was on. Oh, I heard it, Amos.
Shock him. Shocking. Yellow card for me.
So, in terms of the 2 games that you've seen already this pre-season, Amos, what stood out for you? What's excited you most, obviously, about this new era?
I think the inverting one of the fullbacks, mainly the right back, into midfield has been really interesting. That feels like it's something that's going to stick around. Obviously, Maresca has played with this box midfield, which kind of, he was part of when he was at City in 2023 and obviously had so much success. Direct wingers as well. I think that's going to be a real sort of hallmark of a Maresca City team. Semenyo spoke about it in one of his interviews. Get the ball, create 1v1 situations, which I think when you look at the profiles of footballers in City's squad, that'll be really exciting and really beneficial for them. And obviously with the main focus when he's back, feeding Erling Haaland. So I think that's kind of the main talking points that I've seen so far.
Braden, for you, who's caught your eye across the last 2 games?
Oh, I thought Rico Lewis was particularly strong, actually. You spoke about how important just then that right-back role is, and Lewis looked really comfortable, I thought, in the first 2 games. And then you can't not say Semenyo, can you? Because Semenyo was brilliant right off the first game, and then he was brilliant again. I think the players are all just kind of settling down now. We'll kind of see more of a settled-down team today. I think it'll be a closer game, obviously, than the previous K-League All-Stars. But I think for me, the standout probably be the wingers, as we've mentioned, and Rico Lewis, I thought, has started really well.
Today, of course, captaining the side is Ruben Diaz. We don't know who the captain is going to be this season yet. Of course, Enzo Maresca said this week that he will be picking that. But Ruben Diaz has got to be up there in certain contention for that, is he?
Yeah, certainly so. I think, he's the type of player that strikes me, whether he does have the armband on or he doesn't. He certainly leads by example. When I've been at the Etihad last season, in recent years as well, you can just see, you get a real flavour for how he leads on the pitch, his body language, the way he communicates with his teammates. You can see it in his eyes, he wants to win. And, different managers choose different types of leaders. Some managers want a more sort of understated leader, like Arsenal and Odegaard. He's not a shouter, a screamer. He leads by the way he plays. And I think City got so many options in that. And I think, obviously, Guardiola as well, he's the type of guy who leads. Donnarumma's a leader in that team. But there will be emergence, but I think it might be Diaz, but what do I know?
No, I think that's fair, and I think the style of play that he has, he's been somebody who's been very, very vocal from the first day he arrived at City. And you can see how he tries to lead the side, especially at the back. Someone makes a tackle, he's helping, come on, let's celebrate all those little moments. And, I think, for lots of fans, they like to see a leader who they can see leading.
Yeah.
I personally prefer the ones that lead by example. But for a fan, you can see that. And I think in some ways he can do both. He can lead by example, but then also sort of affect the energy that the fan base will have as well, because they'll see how every moment for him is a big moment. We're going to do this. We're going to defend like that. We're going to defend resolutely. We're tough together. Even Mark Gahey was doing it when he first came as well. Donnarumma, they're all celebrating.
Gahey could be in the fray.
He could.
Could Erling Haaland be in the fray?
He's got
could,
to be,
could Haaland be in the fray?
Experience,
I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose for Mark as well, Gay, he was captain at Palace, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He helped them lift the FA Cup.
He's more of a silent leader, isn't he? The way he's very consistent.
But I think in some ways, it's very easy to forget. Ruben Diaz is so significant for the football club, so significant. Yeah. But in the last couple of years, or maybe last year in particular, he's not been spoken about in terms of being the dominant force that he once was, which is a crazy thing to think. But he was so dominant, because I forgot he was Premier League Player of the Season in his first year. You know what I mean? Which is insane to think about for the defender. He was not City's Player of the Season.
Yeah, Player of the Season.
Premier League Player of the Season.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
It's interesting, though, as well, because we're not to talk about right now, because we are going to go to Seoul, but would he's in that back four, in those centre-backs, no one's an automatic starter at the minute because the competition is so good. So in terms of how does that link into captaincy is something we can talk about next week throughout the show next season. Thank you very much to Braden. Thank you so much to Amos. It was lovely to see you both. See you loads throughout the season, I'm sure, as well. I'm rushing there suddenly because we are ready to go. Oh, look, well, we're nearly ready to go. Look at the Callum, get out of shot. Callum, we can see you. That's producer Callum. He doesn't know he's in the shot right now, but now he does. Now, FG's just had his microphone stolen. Shall we throw to SWP and Scott Carson then? Okay, are we ready, guys? Yeah. Are you live?
We actually are live, by the way. Yeah, we actually were live. Sean just went, and we're live, getting ready for Strictly Come Dancing. As always, welcome back to the World Cup Stadium here in Seoul. It's been a fantastic pre-season tour, and this is our last day here. It's an absolute pleasure to be with Shaun and Scott, as we have been throughout the whole of pre-season. Scott, how are you feeling today? Last one, really, really good opponent as well, and exciting game ahead.
Yeah, I think obviously first of all the humidity's a bit better, the weather's a bit cooler, so I think that's only going to make for a better game, probably with a little bit more tempo. But I think we know what we're getting with Atletico. I don't think it'll be a friendly as such.
It's all right, guys. I'll stay here. Don't worry. I'll stay here. Don't worry.
You need to come back.
The worst thing is, right, even Scott couldn't save me. I feel like I have to just
you stay there. I'm going all the way around.
I have to stay here at the moment.
Who does sprinklers like this, by the way?
Yeah, thank you very much to our look how wet Callum is, by the way. Jamie, can you get that camera on Callum?
Well done, Callum.
That, ladies and gentlemen,
an amazing job.
is a man of the people.
We can stroll back around now.
I mean, yeah, we can have a walk around. But anyway, we'll give a shout out to our fans right now.
Hi, everybody.
Who are here in Seoul, excited, ready to go.
Let's
this
get
is
back
what
in
happens.
position now.
Well, I'm not sure about that because we're still going to get wet.
No, but it's only a little bit. Well, this one's coming, so I'm just going to go that way.
All right now, we're fine now.
Yeah, all right, we're fine now for now.
Oh, no, we're not.
Yeah, I mean...
We're going to get done again.
I've got to get off, sorry. Sorry, people, I've got to wear this on the flight. So.
Okay. Right, let's just sit down and have a chat, shall we?
Something?
Yeah, let's just... Scott...
I didn't know Scott Carson was that quick.
Honestly,
I've never seen him move that quick, ever.
Well, I mean, speaking of the weather, it's raining now here in Seoul, but...
The thing is now, we're not going to be able to cool down because it's not even that hot. We're not going to dry off.
Honestly, mate, I've completely lost my way.
Can we get back to being serious now?
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know what the topic of conversation was because I'm soaking wet.
Scott, he was basically talking about the game's going to be a lot better because the temperature and the humidity's come down quite a lot. And then it was your question.
Yeah, basically what happened on pre-season tour was the legends had the pleasure of dressing me up. So let's go and throw to that Palace VT now whilst we try and go somewhere dry.
Hello everyone, FG here, and I'm with Scott, Shaun and Georgia. Right, you can see that we're in the middle for a reason. We are trying on the hanbok, which gets you free entry into the Palace a little later on.
I thought that was his size. That would have fit him.
Sorry, one sec. It says double XL on there.
Double?
Triple. Brilliant.
Are you going commando under?
I'm a man of the people, if that's what they want to see. I'm going to go and try this on then.
Oh, there we go.
We got aircon.
I'm breathing.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. What waist is that? Triple XL. Is the hat compulsory, would you say?
Well, even though you look great in that FG, I'm going to go and try my own on, see if I look a bit better. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Right. Why is it always me? Yeah, it looks really nice.
How
Perfect
nice
colours.
is
Yeah,
it?
it was amazing. We actually have to step outside now and I have to pretend that I'm stood next to someone who's actually dressed appropriately. So.
For the first time, it feels like you're actually struggling for words a little bit.
So Georgia, where are we going?
We're going to Gyeongbokgung Palace. Let's do it.
Easy for you to say.
All right, as you can see, we have arrived at the Palace. We're with a brand new tour guide, Julie. First things first, how do we look?
Oh, you look like king, you look like queen.
Georgia, so what are you most looking forward to seeing?
I just think embracing the culture, seeing what it's all about, learning a bit of history.
Yeah, Julie, we're excited for you to show us round. Let's get into it. Julie, can you tell us a little bit about the building behind us?
Oh yeah, this building is Kunjeongjeon. This is the main hall of this palace. So during the official ceremony, so king sit down inside the building, and then outside the court, the government officer, they stand out during the ceremony during the Joseon dynasty. So very important area.
So usually the king doesn't really go on.
Actually, there are 3 gates here. This gate only for the king. This gate. Yeah.
Wow.
Scott, thanks.
What about the Queen? Where did she go?
Oh, at the time, official ceremony, only king was inside. Yeah, but wedding ceremony was so special, so of course, King was there.
Just for me, Georgia.
Was it? Yeah. Very important.
So the different colours, so there was some that were like yellow and stuff like that, but that had a different impact on social, on the hierarchy.
Yes, yes.
So what's this colour then like?
Actually, this is for prince before become the king.
So I've just been relegated?
Yeah, next king
You do?
actually.
I'm not even dressed as a king. I'm dressed as a prince.
No.
I can't believe it, mate. I've come all this way being dressed by them two. And I'm not even a king. All right then, Julie, here we are, last stop. What is the building behind us?
Actually, this building is the Gyeonghaeru. Gyeonghaeru is a very important building during the Joseon Dynasty because the king threw a party on the second floor. You like party?
Like the sound of that.
I don't mind it, yeah?
Yeah.
And, well, we've had a good look, Sean, of everything here today. How have you found it?
I found it amazing, to be honest with you. To walk into it and to see how big it is and grand it is in terms of the king himself living there. We're stepping on a bit of history, haven't we? So you must be happy about it.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. Everyone else happy?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Really
Very
good.
nice.
Thank you, Julie.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I think the last thing we've got to do, though, we've got to take
Got to get a selfie, innit?
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome back to a much drier position now. We have to give a shout out to the guys behind the camera, Callum and Jamie, by the way. They took that like they absolutely would have been loving the sprinklers the way the heat was the last few days. It was just unfortunate that temperature's a lot cooler. We've just watched the Palace VT. That was one of the amazing things we've done on this pre-season tour, where I thought I was dressing up as a king. Scott, Carson and Shaun picked it for me, and then it turns out I was dressed as a prince. Georgia, by the way, looked great in her Man City dress. I reckon.
To be fair, I think it was the one time I've seen him throw his toys out the pram, didn't he?
He was moaning,
He
weren't he?
acted like a big diva, didn't he?
No, not at all. And what I said, the only thing I was really upset about was that I couldn't wear this on the Matchday live show because I loved it that much. I loved going to the Palace. I loved
Why don't you tell everybody the truth behind the camera?
It was so hot. It was like 45 degrees. And listen, I mean, I wonder what looked better, that or what you wore when you were in Ohio. Can you remember that lederhosen in Ohio?
I think I look better.
Yeah, I think you did as well. Yeah, anyway, let's move swiftly on, shall we? And back to what we've done. Listen, we've had a great time here on pre-season tour. We touched on it a little bit at Pitchside Live yesterday, Shaun. What's been your highlight?
The kids, I think it's always a privilege to see, and an honour in many ways, to see the new generation coming through. But to see them here in the environment where they have to consistently be professional, they have to be consistently ready to go. And when they were given a chance against the K All-Stars team, I thought that they showed everybody what their capabilities are, and they've given the manager a thought for the rest of the season for all the competitions coming up, that they're ready to play and represent Manchester City at the highest level.
When you're a young player, Scott, and you're in that position, you come on pre-season tour, you get a little taste of what it feels like to be in the first team. How does it then feel to sort of, when the season starts and the competitiveness, you know, slides in and you're not necessarily as involved? How does that feel? Is it extra motivation, or can it sometimes be a little bit tough for the young players?
I think as young players you have to use it as motivation. You can't have a taste of it, go back and feel sorry for yourself and sulk about and not be content in playing the under-21s or whatever it may be. But I think when you've got the taste for it, you've got to use that to your advantage and go back and go, right, what can I do more? How can I improve? Because that's where I want to be. And that's what it's down to the individual players to go back and improve, because there might only be a couple of times in the season where they get an opportunity and they have to take it. If they don't, then they might not get a chance again for however long. So it's down to them to take with both hands.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really fun for fans to watch all the players doing so well. Shaun, how much has pre-season changed compared to when you were going on pre-season tours or pre-season trips with the club? Because there's so much going on here. There's multiple commercial windows. There's so many fans who are all over. You know, the majority of the stadium are in sky blue, even though we're playing a side like Atletico. How much has it changed for a player now from what you can see and what you've been around?
Massively, I think, in every way. I think if you go from the football perspective of it all, I don't think we touched the ball for the first 13 days. It was just running morning and afternoon. Whereas now they get the ball out from day one. It leaves me thinking that I can still do pre-season, which clearly I know I can't, but it gives me false hope. But they get on with it, and that's mainly because they keep their body in peak position and prime, ready to go for when the pre-season does start. But in terms of the commercial and the partners and the way the fan base has grown, it's all to do with the staff that nobody hears or sees. The amount of work that goes into the background to make sure the players can play the way they play is just astonishing. And I honestly didn't know until I stepped onto this side of it. And now I've seen there's probably 140 of us here, and everybody's been busy the entire time we've been here, making sure things have to be done and put in place for people like me and Scott to do, and yourself and the guys behind the camera. Everything just went so smoothly. It was perfect.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, we have to give a special shout out to every single one of them. Of course, our 2 camera guys who just got absolutely soaked. They've made it amazing. But as well as that, there's so many people in Manchester as well who are not on this pre-season tour, who are working around the clock. They're all in the gallery, the guys who are in the studio doing the stuff. There is just so many people, and we could spend hours thanking them. But I think from all of our perspective, we wanted to bring up especially the hundreds of people that are here on the pre-season tour, from doing the tickets to doing the general organisation to everything else, and also the hundreds who are back home in Manchester, because we are an incredible football club, and what we get to see is the amount of hard work that happens behind it. And Scott, this is your first pre-season tour, but you have been on Matchday Live on tour, and the work for these guys just doesn't stop, does it?
That's the thing, obviously, for ourselves, we just get told what time and where to be. So to us, we're the lucky ones, because we're getting to go to see the amazing places, go train with the kids or wherever it may be. But the people behind the scenes, there's that many things and places we've been to see this trip. I can't imagine the hours and weeks of hours that have gone into planning that. And to be fair to the people behind the scenes, they're still doing stuff even today, and obviously when that game finishes, it's going to be a mad dash to the airport, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. We are taking the flight directly from this game. So last time we were here, Shaun, I think it was raining, the kickoff was delayed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the skies, and so far, so good. It's not as humid as it has been, but that last experience, for context, we were all absolutely drenched. The sprinkler was nothing compared to that. I think we ended up... Is it under that tunnel?
Under that, but I'm trying to understand why you're trying to jinx the occasion right now. Like, why are you trying to bring that alive? We leave that where it was last time.
We're grateful with the weather.
He's having a good time. He doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, no, listen, I've had a great time. Yeah, absolutely. But no, a massive thank you to everyone who's made it so amazing for us. We've got an amazing fixture now, Scott, against Atletico Madrid. I have to talk to you about goalkeepers, because the 2 goalkeepers on either side, they're huge stars within the world of football. Jan Oblak and, of course, our goalkeeper as well, Donnarumma. Listen, I imagine you love watching goalkeepers based on that's the position you're in. What do you like so much about both these goalkeepers?
I think, obviously, thinking about their careers so far, I think it's both pretty similar in consistency. And for me, as being a goalkeeper, I think it's one of the most important things is just being consistent. You don't have to be 10 out of 10 every week, or you just got to get that 8 out of 10 every single week. And the 2 keepers that are going to be on show tonight are masters at that, and I think looking at that's why they've been around for so long. And obviously Big Gigi's a little bit younger, but to play week in, week out at the top level, and every Saturday, true Champions League, to have that consistency, it speaks volumes.
Do you think it's a surprise about Jan Oblak still being at Atletico, because he's been here for so long and he's been really, really highly regarded? There was potentially, some plans and some ideas that he would move on to, say the Premier League or something like that. But for a goalkeeper, that consistency, staying at the same club, is probably something that's really nice for the club and sort of for him as well.
Yeah, look, he's obviously went there, and he's probably felt at home straight away. And I think as a player, when you find somewhere and you feel that comfortable and you feel like it's your second home, it obviously brings the best out of you on the field as well. If you go somewhere and you're not happy off the field, it's hard to then go onto the pitch and perform as well as you can do. So I think wherever you go, whatever team you play for, you've got to be happy. And if you're happy off the field, then it gives you a better chance when you do play.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaun, one thing to say as well is David Villara's here. He's one of the board members at Atletico Madrid. Of course, he was involved with the CFG club in New York City as well. I don't know if you've managed to take a look at him. He's somewhere around here, but he looks absolutely incredible still. Having a player, ex-player who's done so much in your career in a sort of leadership position, that must just motivate the whole club when you look up and see someone like that.
Yeah, most definitely, but in respects of the players that may play in similar positions to him, if they're ever going through bad times, like Scotty said, on and off the pitch, there's no better person to be able to pull aside and say, like, I'm having problems with this, or what could I have done better in this position on the pitch? He's one of the best strikers I think they've ever had in terms of technical ability, the agility he used to play with, and his finishing was a joke.
Yeah, his finishing was absolutely incredible. So let's go back to the game then, shall we, Scott? Because we spoke about the goalkeepers. It's going to be a different type of test, this. Of course, we have to revisit the last time we played in Atletico in a very interesting occasion, which you were actually there for and involved with. It was a spicy one. There's some players here who were involved in that game. Does that add an extra edge, or with it being pre-season, do you expect it to be quite mellow? Because a Simeone team is statistically one of the most hard-working, quite aggressive as well. Will it be like that at that tempo, do you think, today?
I'm sure it will, because obviously I don't know him personally, but you can just see by watching him, I think he moves more than some of the players sometimes up and down that touchline. So he's not going to be letting them just go through the motions. It's obviously pre-season for them. They want to get something out of it. But I think just in general, I think his style of play, he does want the players to be aggressive. And look, sometimes if you're aggressive and you intimidate a player, and that player doesn't want to them do it and doesn't want to them play, you've basically you've won, haven't you? So I can understand why he does it sometimes. Do I agree with it? Probably not, but obviously he's done something right. He knows more than me. He's been at one of the top clubs for, I think it's something like 15 years or something like that. So look, who am I to argue with his principles?
From a perspective, as Donnarumma now comes out to do his warm-up, you can hear the reception he's getting here in Seoul. Shaun, I want to throw that question to you. Sort of, does that aggression come from a defensive side? Is it as you're a winger, like you're trying to get past him? Is he going to try and be aggressive with you? Or as a winger, do you have that as well? Do you have that part to your game? Because it's an interesting one, and we see key battles all over the pitch.
Well, FG, to be honest with you, I kind of had to, especially when I was coming through, because I was playing against people that were 6 foot and they were playing left backs. It's only now the game's moved on, you're seeing slightly smaller people in those positions. So I learned it growing up with my friends who were always taller than me. They couldn't get that, they would just kick me. So I was already prepared for it. But this will be a tough game on many reasons. And for me, City have to match that every way, because this is the last practice game. So they have to be ready going into this Arsenal game now. And the only way to do it, there's no better test than these, because they will try and bully you. They'll try and be disruptive to stop us playing the football we like to play. And the same thing's going to happen in the Community Shield against Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a very interesting point Shaun's just made there. Do you think with this opponent, it's probably the perfect opponent with preparation to the Community Shield in Cardiff?
That's it. They're two similar teams in that. They both want to be aggressive. They both want to disrupt, like Shaun just said, disrupt the player. They want to sometimes manhandle you, so you can't get the ball, and obviously that's their tactic. But like Shaun just said there, as from a City point of view, they're going to have to match that to a certain degree. But we all know, and what we've seen so far, that City's going to want to do their talking with the ball and try and play and try and pop it around them. So,
do you expect the players here, Shaun, to be playing longer periods of times, like the team that we'll see? Do you think it's a team that's going to play for longer than the first half, etc.? We saw in the first pre-season game changes quite early, and then gradually, I think first game, I think Rico played 90, then he played 60, and Nunes played 30, etc. Do you expect him to get longer minutes and less changes today?
I do feel like that is the time for now. Like I said, going into that Arsenal game. But like you said, Rico's had 90 minutes. So he's clearly had individual chats with players to understand roughly if he needed them to do 90 minutes, could they do it? And Rico would be one of those kids, because we know how he is, that would have put up his hand and said, of course. And some of the senior players know their body a little bit better, which would have said, stick to your plan, build us up slowly. So this is the last game they're going to get where they can maybe get to 70 minutes before they might be asked to play 90 minutes. So if anything, this is the last game he has to pull him in and out.
And of course, we have got some other exciting players to come back. They'll be back at the CFA next week as well, so they'll be factoring into that. Just quickly before we head back to the studio, Scott, Enzo spoke about how he is going to pick the captain of this team. In the previous era, it was the manager who let the players pick it. From your perspective of being in that dressing room as a player, I mean, is it something that the players will welcome, the choice of captaincy, and do you like the change?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think obviously as a group of players, sometimes when you're picking the captain, I think sometimes you maybe don't choose your choices specifically who's going to be the best leader, who's going to be best at doing whatever. You just, I get on with, I maybe speak to him a bit more, and I'm going to choose him, or he does. So I think it's got to come down to Enzo. He's watching the players training, he's watching them in and around the training ground. Obviously, he's watched them here while we've been on tour, and look, he's been here before. He's got an idea. He knows some of the characters, so I'm sure he'll choose it. He's going to choose it. He'll choose it wisely.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Phil Foden wear the armband as well. We've seen a different side to Phil on this tour, haven't we? He's been taking everything in, but one thing's for certain, he's been working extremely hard. Every time we've seen him, he seems to be really, really focused on the season ahead. We love Phil Foden at this football club. We're so delighted he's just signed a new deal, Shaun. What do you make of what you've seen from Phil, and how excited can we get about the season ahead for him?
I think we have to be very excited about the season ahead for him, because at the minute it's a weird way to look at it, but it looks like he's carrying that chip on the shoulder where he's basically saying to people, yo, this is what you thought, now I'm going to come and prove you wrong. And that's what stems his hard work. You've seen him in his off-season, going in and out, playing with the ball, and he's ready to go. We've seen him, obviously, some of the games, like you said, people have been taken off and taken on. But if they give him too much space today, he will definitely hurt them.
Yeah, it could be a really, really good occasion for him. Let's head back now to Manchester, shall we, to the studio, and we'll be back with you very shortly.
Thank you very much there to the team, and I loved it. I was highly entertained at the start when they all got soaked by sprinklers.
Start the season well.
I thought it'd be welcome in the heat over there, but it just sounded like the weatherman, Shaun, said that the humidity had dropped, so maybe they didn't need it. I don't know.
That's good.
This Strictly Come Dancing is rubbing off on Shaun already, by the way. Did you see when he started taking the lead there?
Yeah,
He was like, don't worry, guys, I got this.
Yeah, I love it. Experienced broadcaster as well. So follow me. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Sit
FG,
here.
come here. Come do this.
Let's talk about this.
That's good. Listen, you can make your plans, but at the end of the day, someone will set a sprinkler off. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes.
It's one of my absolute favourite things in football broadcasting, not to be a part of, to watch.
Yeah, it's tough.
Pundits and presenters.
Yeah, being hit by that before, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, but
It's part of the job, isn't
makes
it?
for great content now.
Yeah, it's part of the job.
That's the thing, yeah.
Love that. Love that. OK, so as you know by now, we are into our third pre-season game of this season, the third game of the Enzo Maresca era. We've had 2 pre-season friendlies so far. In case you missed them, hands up. I missed the first one. I was on holiday.
Is this the third one?
I missed the first one.
I thought this was the first. Oh, sorry, my bad.
If you've missed any of them, let's have a look at this recap now.
Well, a very warm welcome. Is this the start of a new season, or is this just pre-season? It is the beginning of a new era for Manchester City. Semenyo has done very well. In fact, that's a great ball, and City will score through Divine Mubama. Semenyo, brilliant again. Terrific run. On he goes. Oh, brilliant save by Martinez. Donnarumma stretched himself out, but he won't do this time. And it's 1-1. Shot goes against the crossbar by Vitor Reis. McAdoo again. Still McAdoo. Oh, he's hit the post. And Donnarumma has made an exquisite save. Cheveri. Oh, well, it's the Panenka. And Inter have won 3 penalties to 1. Game 2 of the Blues tour of the Far East. And it's turned into the net by Ryan Aït-Nouri. And the shot has gone in from a narrow angle. Kim Dae-hwan it is. Semenyo Semenyo, nice shot on the turn. Reinders and City are back in front, 2-1. Here's Semenyo on his left foot, good save. Mabama, 3-1. But City have won, and comfortably, by 3-1.
So that's the highlights of our first 2 pre-season friendlies. Into our third today against Atletico Madrid. We will shortly be getting the team news for them, and of course we'll have a chat about Atletico Madrid. And I basically just want to go back and talk about the fight that happened a few years ago. Hopefully we can re-look at that again. One of my favourite moments from the last 5 years, and that's saying something. In terms of the previous 2 games, it was Jack Grealish. We all know what I mean. In terms of the previous 2 games, a variety of goal scorers for City. We talked earlier about the benefit of pre-season on having the younger players, the opportunity for younger players to come through. A couple of the younger players in particular have been standing out. Divine Mubama scored in both of the pre-season friendlies so far. Is he starting now to make people sit up and take notice?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's always good to score in pre-season or score in general when you are with the first team as a young player. But I think the tricky situation he is in is the same as every other number 9 from the academy that's existed in this last 10 years. Because you've been behind some icons, and right at the moment it's Erling Haaland, but for others before that it was like Sergio Aguero. But for him to be in there, for him to be trusted by the manager to lead the line with what we've seen, as the guys were saying before, like strong City sides. More power to him, and you can critique certain parts of his game, but some of the basics are about being in there when it matters. And who's in there when it matters usually as well? Erling Haaland. So if you're going to take some of the traits away from somebody as good as Erling, well, this is what you love to see. Somebody that has an impact in the game. Might not necessarily be the link-up or certain parts which are more nuanced. People, put this on a highlight reel. At the end of the day, these goals matter, and for him to be getting those in pre-season is huge for him and his confidence.
Izzy, what does a young player have to do, like Divine Mubama, like some of the other youngsters, to catch the manager's attention to the point where the manager might think, OK, they're ready to step up into our setting regularly?
It's interesting because you think as a young player, right, I'm on the tour, I've got to go and impress, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and I've got to make sure the manager sees me. Actually, the way of standing out is by not standing out, and I think that's what I look at as a coach. I look at a player who's consistent in training, that can have a high level of training every day. And I think when you are a young player, you get the call up for a tour of this calibre. We look at the City squad, we look at the starting 11 today, and it is starting any Premier League game, this 11 that's starting today against Atletico. And you go, well, how are my training habits? What do I look like? What am I like off the pitch? The manager will be observing everything, because that's what high quality culture is. And for the players to get the nod to come here, to go on tour with the first team players, you've got to observe what the first team players do in terms of their habits, their adherence to training, what they're like in the bits of training that are a little bit scruffy, in the bits of training where things are not going your way. I mean, a lot of coaches they don't look at what you do on the ball, they look at what you do off the ball. Yep. And they look at your reactions when you lose the ball. I won't have met, I don't know about you, Nedum, a coach in the world who will criticise a player for losing the ball, but they will maybe call them up on their reaction if they don't react. And I think that's what coaches are looking at. That's what Maresca will be looking at. He'll be Hawkeye on the players. And actually, if they just fit in, and they don't stand out, and they don't stand out for being poor either. They're not obviously going to be poor, they've come from our academy, but they just want to see that consistency, and if those players have done that, they'll have put themselves in good stead for the future. I
totally agree, and I'm glad you said it like that, especially because she's like a player and a coach, you know what I mean? And I think it's perfectly valid, because the City's training setup, you could argue, is like a world-class setup.
Yeah.
If you fit in and you blend in, you're doing a really good job. Yeah. Like, he's there for a reason anyway. But I think sometimes with coaches, they'll find reasons for you to not play. It's because of the fact that, say, you didn't react there, say you're a bit sloppy at this place and that place and so on. But the fact that, say, Divine and other players aren't having that, I think that's more credit to them. And also, sometimes as a young player, you want to try and do something that will impress someone. You're coming into City where every player there sees something. We've seen Kevin De Bruyne's, we've seen, David Silva's, Bernardo Silva's, all this. Whatever you think you're going to do is going to impress them. I bet they've seen it before. So whereas if you focus on the understanding of what the coach wants and what the team needs, then that is you showing that you can be a part of this side. You are unlikely to be the difference maker, but you certainly can be someone that is part of the process, and I think he's done well with that.
I love that. I love that chat. I love the way you describe that and the way that you think about that, and I completely can see now you want just
just very good.
You can rely on.
Just very good. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
We want someone that we can rely on. Can
we rely on the groundsman in Seoul to put the sprinklers on again? Fingers crossed. OK, back over to the gents.
I don't know, Nat, to be honest with you. Can we rely on the groundsman? I'm not sure. What we can rely on is the amazing view that we've got behind us of our players going through their pre-match routine. Scott, they look focused. They look like a lot more game-faced than what they were at the start of the tour. This is where it gets serious for these players. They know it's their last pre-season game. They'll want to make a positive impact. How good is it to see how focused everyone is?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And obviously, as a group of players, individually and the group, it's like you just said, it's the last pre-season game. They obviously want to make an impression. Enzo's come in, new manager, so they're all playing for the places for when that season starts. So, like you just said, they come out, they're all focused, and I bet they're relieved a little bit with the heat because it's not as hot as they were expecting probably. So, and that's probably made their life a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a really good team when we look at it. And let's focus on the attacking three then, shall we? It's Savinho, Semenyo and then Marmoush. What I like so much about that, Shaun, is it's an opportunity for Omar Marmoush to play in the position that he probably wants to play in and make a mark, albeit Erling Haaland's back in training next week. But for him to have an opportunity against a team like Atletico Madrid, what an opportunity that is.
It's a massive opportunity against anyone, to be totally honest with you. But for me, what I like about it is it's a very dynamic front three, and I got a feeling that front three can set the press. I feel like when we play sometimes with Erling, me and Scotty were talking about it earlier, and he explained something to me, because of course he's played under Pep, and he said sometimes there will be days where the wingers start the press, but now we've got that number 9 that can start the press, and the midfielders can come in behind, and that can help the defenders come up the pitch a little bit quicker. But hopefully we do what we need to do.
We saw some absolutely amazing quotes by Mateus Nunes this week about his position. Well, he's starting at right back, and it's deservedly so. He's back in the team. He's starting. He'll be. I mean, after revealing what he went through in terms of having to speak to, having a psychologist, speaking to his friends and his friends in football as well. It's an amazing story to hear, and it's great to see him in that position, Scott. He offers so much. Do you think he's going to step inside in midfield like we saw with Rico as well? Can you potentially see that?
Yeah, well, definitely. His position's a centre midfielder, so I think if Enzo wants him to go into that midfield, then for him that's perfect. But he's obviously so athletic and so dynamic that if he does have to do an overlap or he has to run down the wing, that suits him as well. So I think that's why, once he's got that in his head about being a fullback, I think he's actually probably thought about it and thought, you know what, it actually suits me because the way the team plays, I will be inside, but then I will be able to use my legs and use my speed and go up and down. So looking on paper, it is a perfect position for him. So finally he's accepted it, and he's building on it, and he's only going to get better playing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we'll have the Atletico Madrid team news for you very, very shortly. You might be able to hear it in the stadium right now. Aliman is waiting to give you that. But first, we've been so lucky to be here in Seoul for the half of this tour, Shaun. So I think it's only right that we give back to some of our fans live. So a massive thank you to Man City Esports, who have managed to get their hands on some shirts for us to throw into the crowd. Scott, I have no doubt you have an amazing throw, and you'll need one, because there's a big gap between us and the crowd. What we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of shirts. So I'll grab these now. Once again, this is from Manchester City.
We have to lift him up and help him.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad you did, so I'm happy to. But there is also a chair there if you need it, Shaun. Listen, we're going to head to the stands now and see if we can give it to some of our supporters. So we'll head this way, and we'll do it right now. Right, who can I give this to? Because there's a Phil Foden guy up there. Nice. Okay, and finally, I'm scared that I'm going to miss, Scott.
FG, can you reach? Oh, wait. See, did he give you that because he can't reach?
He couldn't reach it.
Let's see that.
Right, it's all right.
Hey, he made it.
Made it. Oh, we have got a couple more as well, so we'll hang on there for a second. We have got a couple more. The fans here
I'm going down there.
are bringing the vibes. All right, yeah, let's keep moving.
and you thought I couldn't make it.
The wind.
Oh.
Scott's thrown it down there, everybody.
Oh,
I need to get it back. I'll get it back.
Please be careful, Scott.
Scott, don't climb over there.
Okay, I've got a women's top in my hand here.
Is there any more?
So I'm going to give it to this girl. Let's hope I don't miss like Scott just did. There you are.
Sorted.
Right.
The wind took it.
Yeah, it's the wind that took it. Someone's bag's there, mate.
All right, so
someone's
bag's over now. Someone's lost the bag.
Yeah, someone's bag's on the net.
Well, I mean, the ball boy's going to try and get one. I'm wondering if we can get a zoom into where the shirt landed. Scott, first of all, Shaun, I'm very sorry because you were 10 out of 10. Nothing surprises me.
So I don't talk, I just try.
Exactly. Scott, what happened, mate?
He was like a rain jacket I threw.
No, it was the black.
As I threw it, as I threw it, went like a parachute, and it just started coming back.
Right,
I recovered the situation.
Then parachuted back.
They dropped it, it come back. I recovered the situation. They've got it now.
Yeah, someone's got it. Fantastic. Anyway, massive thank you to Man City Esports and, of course, our amazing supporters. Great to see the club growing so much worldwide. Listen, we said we were going to bring you that Atletico Madrid team news. We are about to. We're not going to do it pitchside, but Ali Manny's got it for you right now.
Thanks, FG. Looks as though you're having far too much fun. Let's go with the Atletico Madrid 11 today. Oblak, who of course has been their goalkeeper for some time. Dominguez, Martinez, Lenormand, Hanko, Koke, the captain, Mendoza, Vargas, Hjulmand, Martin and Lookman. And if you're looking at that lineup and thinking to yourself, goodness me, is that how they're going to be this season? The answer is very much no. They've got 11 players who aren't allowed to join up because they either reached the quarter-final stage of the World Cup or beyond. In fact, 4 Spanish players, Baena, Llorente, Pubil and Grimaldo, of course, have picked up winners' medals, and 6 Argentina players, Musso, Molina, Gonzalez, Almada and Simeone, and of course Alvarez, well, they played the final as well. So they've got 11 missing, including Sorloth, the Norwegian winger. So you have to say they are down to the bare bones. Alongside me today is Steve Howie. Steve, yes, they're down to the bare bones, but who caught your eye?
I think just looking at the team sheet, you look at Koke, obviously played a lot of games for Atletico. You've got Lookman as well. He's another one that kind of catches the eye, I think. But for everybody watching at home, and certainly the people that's at the stadium, I think the player they'll be looking at is Lee Kang-in, who they signed from PSG. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they'll have a lot of strips with his name on the back, and of course he brings massive interest. So I think that'll be an interesting one if he comes on. I'm pretty sure he will. You can imagine what the crowd reaction will be like. So yeah, looking forward to this one though.
There is a huge buzz the moment he hits the pitch, the moment he's on the big screen in the stadium. You kind of had that with Sun Jihai when you were with City and China and the interest there. Can a player generate that much interest purely on his own?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've seen it with other players at different clubs, and we've seen it with Sun Jihai here. I mean, yeah, of course, at that particular time when I was here, City weren't the City they are now. I mean, obviously still an amazing football club, but certainly worldwide, the kind of interest wasn't like it is now for City. But when Sun Jihai signed, the interest from where he was from was just absolutely just explosion of interest. So yeah, of course it adds to it. And as I said, in this crowd, we can see a lot of the fans have got the Manchester City tops on, but I'm pretty sure that when you look at, or if you looked at the Atletico strips, all of them would have Lee Kang-in's name on it. I'm trying to say his name as properly as I can. I'm not too sure if I'm winning at it.
No, listen, with your northeast accent, you did pretty well there, I have to say. Just before we get back to an interview we got with Enzo Maresca, just a quick thought on what pre-season meant to you as you were building up the last 2 weeks of the season.
Well, first of all, it's all about not getting injured. You want that base though, you want that the strength in your legs. A good core base to make sure that you know for a fact you can get around the pitch, but you want that sharpness as well, just in your mind and in your body. It's still not going to be there now. That'll still just come along in the next week or two. But it's all about just making sure that your body's right, your body's going to be prepared. Of course, it's all changed now with sports science, and it has done for a long, long time. I mean, back in the day, they just used to run you and run you and run you until, you know, you were pretty much physically sick. Now, with the sports science, it is incredible. And I got a real good insight into that when I came here, when we had a man called Juan Carlos Osorio who was so good at it. And I can remember, we've just been talking, I can remember doing a pre-season and I just didn't feel as though I was anywhere near ready. But he was telling me, Stephen, believe me, you will be. I've got it all here. It's all on the computer. It's all on the laptop type thing. I'm looking at all your stats. And we played our first game and I felt so good. So, you know, the technology that they've got now is absolutely incredible. As I said, it's just hope that you don't pick up a little silly injury or get a kick or anything like that. But yeah, I think even at this stage, whilst the fitness is very good, it's not going to be at the level that it's going to be in even 2 weeks' time.
All right, the thoughts there of Steve Howie, who is my co-commentator for the game this afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching this particular match. Well, let's not go back to studio. Let's instead go to an interview that we did over here in the Far East with the new boss, Enzo Maresca, and it was a fascinating insight. He gave us all the knowledge and all the information that he could possibly give us, and here it is now.
I'm quite normal. I grew up with, I think, important value. The most important thing is that I never seen my dad complain. You know, working during the night when it's dark. No one teach me how to play football or now how to be a manager. He teach me the most important thing, that is the work ethic, the sacrifice, and I think it's very important. Yeah. It's not just about how good he is as a player, that is for sure is important, but also we have a look at the person, the human being, and Elliot match all these kind of things. He's a fantastic player, very nice guy, and will be a pleasure for me to work with him. Jeremy is doing well. They work without pressure, just enjoy, work hard. What the club and this organization has made in the last 10-50 years is unbelievable. So it's also for the young generation, for the young players, it's a good reason why to join this club. And I think Jeremy did the right choice. I'm quite young in terms of music. I like house music, and I like almost the same music than the players. Even sometimes their music is very bad. In terms of fashion, clothes, Italy is one of the most important countries. I don't pay big attention to that. It's just something normal.
That is Enzo in conversation, so that is going to be coming out very shortly across all of our platforms. Cannot wait to watch that in full. That was fascinating. Nedum's immediate reaction in the studio was, that man is relaxed because he's not even put his shoes on. We're taking that as a positive, right?
I thought it was obvious, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know why I looked at his feet first. Excuse me, I've got his shoes.
I think he's relaxed. I think he's calm, he's comfortable, he's good.
You did sound very relaxed there to me.
Yes.
Very, very relaxed, and hopefully, can have that sort of tone for the rest of his time at City. That would be good.
And he's into house music, we learned.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
Very cool. Hopefully he's got shoes on in the technical area.
I don't mind.
Find out.
I tell you, man can do whatever he wants.
Imagine coaching in socks, giving instructions.
Yeah, people would not take you seriously.
No, yeah, I think that's where he needs to put his shoes on. But no, he looks very relaxed. Love the way he speaks. Love listening to the way he talks, and you can see he's already going to be a big hit with players.
100%, and it's interesting because he's been here before. You know what I mean? It's easy to forget he's been here before. Yeah. So as he comes through the doors, this isn't all new to him. He knows this area. He spent, he was here when City had the most successful season ever with the treble win.
Yeah.
So he's seen that level of success and what went into it. And he's so comfortable now that he doesn't have to wear shoes for interviews. So yeah, happy days.
All I'm really looking forward to watching that when that comes out this week across Manchester City's channels as well. Enzo in conversation. So we are around about 15 minutes away now from today's pre-season friendly against Atletico Madrid. You can watch the full game live on City Plus. If you're not currently subscribed to that, you've got 15 minutes to get that sorted so that you can watch the game as well. And of course, you'll get brilliant commentary from Alistair Mann and from Steve Howie. Playing Atletico Madrid today. At this point in pre-season, is a team like Atletico exactly the sort of game that you want? And by that, I mean, I think there tends to be a little bit of grit with them.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. I think a few years ago when they played them in pre-season, it wasn't as gritty, say, when they played them in the Champions League, because when something's on the line, it can get a little bit heavier. You know what I mean? You've got different types of context around certain things. But in pre-season, like Simeone, huge experience. He'll just want his team to be like healthy going into the season. He will want. This is one of the few times where both coaches have the same shared goals. Want to play a game, get your fitness up, and then essentially go into the season in good spirits. So it won't be as feisty. I don't know if he can stay in his technical area, because I think in Spain he's known for being the guy that covers the most yardage on that side. But it's good because they're a very good side. And they're preparing in a similar manner to City in the fact they've got some players away, the likes of Julian Alvarez, for example. I think Sorloth's still away as well. So it's not the peak version of Atletico, but a team that's going through the same sorts of things, that wants to be successful domestically. They've played each other a few times now, and thankfully this one isn't for like the next stage of the Champions League. So maybe some of the tackles could be pulled out of just a little bit. Just a little bit, possibly on both sides, yeah.
Yeah, can everybody just come out of this game fit, please? Let's just stay calm. They do play a different style of football to we do, Izzy. So what do you hope we can learn from today?
Well, I think it's the perfect test at this stage in pre-season ahead of the Arsenal game in the Community Shield next weekend. I think, there'll be aggressive out possession, rotations in the midfield and front line. Koke sitting probably deeper, being really aggressive, mopping up. So I just think the rotations and the way that Simeone's teams play, with the aggression, the high pressure, I think at this stage of the season, Maresca's had a good few weeks to work with how they're going to build up, how we're going to build up in the play. So I think to receive different types of pressure from a team like Atletico, or want to hunt us down in the final third for them, I think he'll provide the perfect test for Maresca to have a look at the way his team problem solves in a game of a Champions League intensity, because maybe not so much at the stage that in pre-season, but Atletico Madrid are a very well-established Champions League team. So I think this will be a really positive test for us today.
Of course, we only have actually had one competitive game, or two competitive games indeed, against Atletico Madrid, which was in the Champions League. It was a quarter-final in 21-22. Over two legs, City won 1-0. Kevin De Bruyne scored the only goal of the tie. Always happy to rewatch a Kevin De Bruyne goal. So this was in the first leg. It was a Phil Foden assist. Here we go.
Pop that in there. Thank you very much. That De Bruyne fella. That's not too bad player, is he?
So sharp.
Yeah.
So sharp. Look at him. Bang.
Yeah.
Change of pace.
It's a tough
stride
game,
pattern.
Yeah, it was a tough game as well that day. So that was a huge goal. I remember the feeling as that went.
And do you remember that Phil Foden came on and it was 1 minute later that he got the assist?
Well, I didn't know that.
Not like Phil, is it? To do something like that.
Yeah, Mr. Legacy himself. Incredible. What a guy.
So that was the first leg, and then of course there was the second leg. Phil Foden involved in a brawl. Look at this. Savage, he still gets my blood going. I can now look back and find it highly entertaining because, of course, as we'll all remember, Jack Grealish and his very strong Brummy accent can be lip-bred.
Yeah.
And you can see that the way... What I loved about this, in a serious note, obviously, and also there's Scott Carson, by the way, do you see, is the way that the team, all of the team, was straight in there protecting our Phil.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, for sure. But in some ways, though, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, there are some City players who distance themselves a little bit from it, but you're seeing Phil got a tackle, it was a bad tackle, and then Stefan Savic, former City player, has tried to drag him. Yeah, he's tried to... there you go. Yeah. Stefan... Yeah, he clearly loves it. But as a player, you play the game, there's tension, the crowd's all this. You're like supercharged. Just go on then, free hit, go get in the mix, go drag someone away somewhere. It's good fun, that. I enjoyed it.
Amos and Braden are back with us on the React 2 wall. Amos, I jokingly said that was one of my favourite moments from the last 5 years.
Jokingly, I'm with you. It's up there. It really is. Forget the trophies. It was. I had a fever for this game, and I must have had a fever dream where Scott Carson was giving it big in the tunnel. May or may not have happened, but yeah, I think it was. And it was a moment. I think City out Diego Simeone. That away leg was, football wise, brutal. It wasn't the peak Guardiola performances that we got used to, but it was needed. You need that in Europe, and it was I think that game was important for the season after, where City went on and won the Champions League for the first time.
Oh, yeah, completely agree with you, Amos. Braden, we saw a different side of City in that game. We saw a team that was able to grind out the result. I know you're smiling away because I know that you enjoyed that too. And like I said to Nedum, for me, it was the way that it was the team. That was such a team effort. They were all fighting for each other, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I mean, you mentioned before about picking a captain and Ruben Diaz being a man that you can see on the pitch where, he goes over and you'd back him to back, the teammates. I'm with you there. I enjoyed that. I remember I was sat in the living room downstairs with my mum and dad, and I'm like shouting at the telly, giving it the big one, thinking I'm well hard. No, it was funny, but I enjoy. I mean, as much as I wouldn't want it to happen again because we don't like Phil being kicked, I did enjoy that little scruffle moment as well.
Oh, we're all very basic people at heart, aren't we? Yes, we are. So it's Atletico Madrid again today. What sort of different challenge will we face today in comparison to the game against the K-League All-Stars and Inter?
The K-League All-Stars were essentially just brought together for the game, weren't they? And I think for Inter as well, it's just a bit earlier in pre-season, again, with some players not as ready as others, whereas now, like, for Atletico, they've had a chance to build on their sharpness. They've played some more minutes together, they've done more training together. So as pre-season progresses, you want to see a better and better version of your side. Obviously not the end product, not perfect, but you want it to be better. So these sorts of games will always be trickier, and I think Izzy made a good point in terms of like them being the right side for City, because Maresca has his plans, how he wants his team to play and so on. But he's playing against a bunch of players and a team who are just as prepared to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they can think the same way that you think. So can you really find the difference as such? So yeah, it'll be different to those other two games. The one before the K-League one, like it's great, but it's like that's a proper showcase. Whereas for this one here, it starts off as a friendly, very quickly turns into a real match. And then maybe if the coach wants to like make changes and stuff, it gets a little bit like disjointed. But for everybody starting that game, and for Atletico as well, nobody's going to give an inch. So you have to be committed in it, but also just committed to where you don't risk anything. And just make sure that, you put in a good performance and you'll be ready for the season.
Izzy, how much will this game tell us about where City are, both tactically, both with Enzo and physically as well?
I think perfect. I think it doesn't define. I think, City fans, we all need to be really patient with the transition of coaches. Obviously, it speaks for itself what Guardiola did, and to take over the baton from him, I think there's no other person who's as perfect as Maresca to do so. But that still doesn't excuse him from having this sort of period where he needs time to embed the players into how he wants to work his methods. And I think this game will give Maresca the best possible outcome in terms of how do my players problem solve and what equipment do I need to give the players in the next couple of weeks getting ready for the Premier League season to say, these are the tweaks, this is what's working really well. How are the players going to come back in? The players that are not here at the moment, where do they fit in? Obviously, we think will be pretty obvious where they will fit in. But, the players that are playing today, you're playing for the shirt because, as we know, want to compete on all fronts this season. You need your depth and you need everyone to provide that level that's the highest possible level you can play at.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Braden, Amos, give me a final. Amos, you go first. Score prediction, how do you think the game's going to go?
3-1 to City, and let's say Marmoush gets on the score sheet.
OK, anything feisty in the future?
I hope not.
Me too. Not at this point. Braden?
I'm going for 2-1 City. I like the sound of Marmoush on the score sheet, but I'm going to go with a Savinho goal. And I think it'll be a slow start, and then we'll see the game get, not hopefully feisty, but competitive to a good level. And I'm looking forward to it.
Lovely. Thank you very much. You go and get comfy on your sofa, Braden. Get feeling tough in case anything happens and we need you. We'll see you both soon. You can, of course, watch this full game on City Plus. If you're not subscribed already, you've only got 7 minutes to quickly get yourself signed up or you won't be able to watch the game. Now, look at this to make you scream. Izzy, Nedum, scream!
Oh, my God.
David Silva's in the crowd.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, David,
go.
great to see you back.
They know. The fans know. A legend.
I thought he was really there. The producer told me David Silva was in the crowd.
You believe that, you believe anything.
One day
He will be back.
Well,
he will be back, I'm sure.
By the way, I subscribed to City Plus last night in under 7 minutes, so it is possible.
Well done, Izzy.
And I'm not very tech-savvy.
Game.
Yeah, to watch the Fiorentina game, so...
Lovely. Thank you.
There we go.
Right, so you've got... that's signed on by Izzy there. 6 minutes
About
now
6
to sign
minutes,
up
though.
to
Is that
City
Less than.
Plus so that you can watch today's game. Izzy, thank you. Nedum, thank you. We'll see you at half-time. We'll see you at full-time as well. Loads to talk about as well. Of course, a big preview of the Community Shield, and we want to look at some of the signings as well that the women's and the men's team have made. So, but for now, we are going into our third game of the Enzo Maresca era. We're going to hand over now to our wonderful commentary team, Alistair Mann, Steve Howie. Hey, guys, hope you had a good summer.
Thanks, Nat. Yes, a fantastic summer, to be absolutely truthful, albeit, of course, I've already done the 2 pre-season games, but I know you're first today, and it's lovely to see you back in the studio as well. Well, this is certainly a terrific way to conclude the Tour of Asia. 2 sides with wonderful reputations, and as you can see from the shots we've shown you here, plenty of supporters as well. Both City and Atletico Madrid hugely popular in the South Korean capital. So far, the Blues have played entertaining duels with Inter Milan in Hong Kong and the K-League All-Stars here in Seoul on Wednesday. And this latest contest looks to be the most intriguing of all against Diego Simeone's well-drilled charges. City's incredible popularity has been apparent with every step they've taken, but in fairness to Atletico, they too have fervent support, particularly having secured the signing of South Korean international Lee Kang-in, who has created borderline hysteria wherever he has been. It's yet another factor which is certain to make this game an entertaining one. And with City's next match being up against Arsenal at the Millennium Stadium a week from now, actually, in the Community Shield in Cardiff, this is their latest opportunity to hone up their match sharpness ahead of that prestigious season curtain raiser. So the players being introduced to the dignitaries. It is, of course, evening here in Seoul. Not as warm, actually, as Wednesday. Temperatures nowhere near as high or as humid. So